What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spartan here today with another video, and in today's video is going to be geared onto more newcomers to the hobby and people who want to set up a new tank or are considering getting another tank. So I'm going to give a couple tips, maybe 5 tips or things to consider when setting up a new tank. So with that being said, if you guys find this content useful, engaging, educational, whatever, please leave a like, leave a comment, please consider subscribing. It's free. It helps me out, it motivates me, and I love getting into this community and having conversations and learning things and helping other people learn things. So without further ado, let's get right. So the first tip I'm going to mention, number 1, is do your research. That is probably the most important thing, is do your research, because don't buy an aquarium specifically for one type of fish. Like, don't do that, or don't just get one because it was cheap and you're bored. Do your research and make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're setting things up in the correct manner. Understand your cycle, your nitrates, your nitrides, your ammonia and all that. Understand your cycle. Understand what type of aquarium you even want in the first place. Do you want just a simple 10-gallon with a couple plants and a betta fish? Do you want a 75? Do you want an 100? What do you want out of the hobby, first off, and can you do it right? So do your research, and that's the biggest thing. The second tip I'm going to talk about, it goes hand in hand with do your research, but take your time. Don't rush. Don't go willy-nilly because you saw a cheap tank on Facebook or PetSmart was having a sale and you just want a fish tank, so you just got one, and don't do that. Take your time. Okay, that fish tank on Facebook Marketplace, if it sells, so there will be another one, I guarantee you. Don't rush. Take your time. Do your research. Do it the right way. Don't set up a tank day one, throw a betta fish in it, and think you're gonna succeed. You're probably not. Betta fish are really hardy. That's not a knock at betta, but just don't do that. Take your time. Learn your nitrate cycles, like I said, and to do your research. Take your time. Make sure your tank is cycled right, set up right, and take your time. Don't rush. Those fish, if that fish sells that you want, another one will be there. I can guarantee you can order it with your local fish store if you really want another one of those, whatever it is. But take your time. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what Instagram or Facebook or what this guy has got in his tank. Take your time, okay? Now we'll get actually into some more, I guess, like specific topics of it. So number 3 is you have to consider where you're going to put your tank. And this is even more important as the bigger your tank gets. The bigger your tank gets, not only is it big in space-wise, but you have to consider the weight. Water weighs a considerable amount, and I know all you fish keepers know when you move those 5-gallon buckets after a while, your arms get tired. Just simplify it, okay? I got an 125-gallon aquarium, and with no sump, no filters on it, nothing, just filled to the brim. It's about 1,250 pounds roughly, give or take a few hundred here or there, but that is the weight of a small sedan. You can't just put that on a 3rd floor apartment and wing it. No. You have to make sure, first off, if it's on a 2nd or 3rd or whatever floor, that you have it on a structural wall and that the load can be handled by the structure that you have it in. Or you're putting it on, in your basement on a concrete floor, so that way the weight isn't a problem. So do your research on that too, because you don't want to get a big aquarium, fill it up, and have it drop through the floor or whatever, okay? So consider your size of your aquarium that you're going to want to keep. Consider where you're going to put it. If you need to add in structural support, whether it's on the floor below in your crawl space or whatever, make sure you're doing that. Don't just put a big tank and expect it to be okay on the floor. So that's a big thing. A 10-gallon, a 20-gallon, a 30-gallon, that's not as big of a deal weight-wise, but you definitely want to consider on those bigger tanks. Make sure you know what you're doing. Don't just put it anywhere, okay? And of course, too, if it's a 6-foot tank, you're going to want to put it into a spot that's breathable and that's workable for your area, so that way you can get around the tank and all that. And, typically you want to keep it away from, windows and direct sunlight if you can. I'm breaking that rule, but I have a UV light that helps keep the algae down. But yeah, you want to, think about where you're going to put this tank, because again, it's a lot of weight. Once you fill it up, not only can the floor take it, but it's going to be a pain in the badunski to move after it's filled up too. So it's not like you could just pick it up and just, okay, I'm going to put it on that wall because I think it looks better over here. Really take your time and think about, is this the best place for the tank? Is the temperature in this area good? Is the sunlight? All of those things you got to consider when placing your tank, okay? Number 4 is what you can afford, okay? And what do I mean by that? I don't just mean, can you afford a, custom 8-foot aquarium? I don't just mean that. I mean, can you afford what you're going to put in your tank? Can you afford the equipment that's going to cost to go on that tank? Because like anything, a bigger tank is going to require a bigger filter. It's going to require a bigger heater. It's going to require, a bigger piece of equipment. And that piece of equipment is going to be a considerable amount of money. For instance, a filter for a 10-gallon is maybe, depending on the brand, but let's just go with an Equion Quiet Flow. You can get those at Walmart for $20 to $30 for a 10 to 20-gallon size. But if you want to get like an 100-gallon filter, like I have on this, the Aqua Clear 110, or you want to get a Seachem Tidal, that's going to run you around probably $100, if not a little bit more, unless you get it on a sale or you get it used. So just consider that. Like, did you just spend all your money getting the 4-foot tank or getting that custom aquarium, and now you don't even have the money to buy a canister filter for it or a sump for it? So just consider that. Consider what's in your budget. Same thing with fish-wise. Don't just go out there and buy a, platinum silver arowana and spend all your money on that, and then, don't do that. Again, goes back into the other tips. Take your time and do your research, okay? But really, 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 what's in your budget, okay? And the bigger the fish, the more these monsters gotta eat, okay? So think about that too. If you're feeding an arowana, that's a lot different than feeding a betta fish or feeding a couple angelfish, okay? Or if you're feeding a highly populated cichlid tank, you still are feeding a multitude of fish. You're not just feeding one fish, or you're not just feeding a little betta where you drop in a few pellets every day and he's good for the day. No. If you're dealing with monster fish, you're dealing with a monster appetite. So just think about your budget. Can you afford to feed this fish? Can you afford the equipment that you need to purchase to keep the tank running adequately? And the 5th and final tip I would have to say is have fun, okay? Guys, it's a hobby. Guys and girls, it's a hobby. And what are hobbies meant to do? They're meant to be stress-free. They're meant to be fun. It's meant to be something you enjoy with your friends, not something that you're waking up and I hate cleaning my tank and I hate this. No, just have fun. Enjoy your fish tank. I don't care if you have a 10-gallon, a 5-gallon, a 2-gallon little nano tank, or if you have a 20-foot aquarium. I don't care. Just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Remember why you got into this hobby. You didn't get into this hobby for headaches or to break your bank. You got into this hobby to have fun, have a community, and do something stress relieving. And so just remember to have fun and enjoy yourself, because if you're not enjoying yourself, then why are you doing it? Life is too short to do things that you don't want to do unless you have to as an adult, okay? Like pay your taxes, okay? Pay them. Don't just go ahead. But as I said, people, have fun with it and enjoy yourself. Don't let anybody else dictate what you want to do with your tank. As long as you're being healthy to your fish, ethical to the fish, enjoy it. If you want to have no plants and you like a bare bottom aquarium, do it. If you like it heavily planted, do it. Don't listen to what Bobby over here is going to say and Jimmy Juju over here on the comments. Do what you want to do. It's your money, it's your time, and it's your sanity. So enjoy yourself, have fun, and don't let nobody take anything from you that you're not willing to give them. Okay? So those are my 5 things, 5 tips, things to consider. If you found it useful, if you found this enjoyable, if you just liked it, I would really appreciate if you consider subscribing, leaving a comment, liking the video. As I said, it all helps out with the algorithm and it makes my brain feel good when I see the likes go up. So I really appreciate all of you, and I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.